Well, hello and welcome to this live here at The Print on its YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing about the political developments in Tamil Nadu. Now, two big superstars, Rajinikanth and Kamal Haasan, both of them talking about how they are now looking at joining hands and creating more star power to the entire political drama in Tamil Nadu. Now, today we are raising the question as to what is actually forcing them to join hands to basically launch themselves maybe together or support each other's political party in the political arena in Tamil Nadu. Well, if you look at the way things have panned out in Tamil Nadu politically after the passing away of the former Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha, is that on one hand, the AIA DMK has not been able to keep itself together. The DMK has been taking this as an opportunity to try and firm their ground, strengthen themselves, and see if they could actually create or rather fill in what they call the vacuum in the political arena in Tamil Nadu. And that is exactly what Rajnikanth and Kamal Haasan both are saying, that there is a huge political vacuum right now because they feel that the EPS OPS government has created a kind of a it's not they have been managing to drag the government govern Tamil Nadu for a while now, but politically Tamil Nadu is not as uh, vibrant and as developed as it used to be under the leaderships of chief ministers like K. Karunanidhi or Jayalalitha or MGR even for that matter. So the idea is that one is that they claim that they are trying to fill in the political vacuum in Tamil Nadu, that they being Rajnikanth and Kamal Haasan. And if you hear the statements they say, and the operative words here is for the development of Tamil Nadu and for the sake of the people of Tamil Nadu. So clearly here they are using the whole concept of that not only is their popularity going to help them, but whether people will accept them together. Because in the course of this conversation, I will also talk to you about how Kamal Haasan and his party performed after he launched his party. It was a grand opening, it was a grand launch, but it did fizzle out in terms of impact politically. Rajnikant, on the other hand, we've seen how he has been talking about launching himself politically. He's talking about launching his political party. He has not named it as of now, but clearly his people started to began to think that possibly he was a little not determined to launch a political party or rather test waters. Or further, I've heard people also say in Tamil Nadu that he wanted to wait and watch and see how Kamal Hassan performed politically and then launch his own party to see how people would react to him. But clearly at this time, both of them joining hands is a reason. One of the major reasons is also because now Kamal Hassan, like I said, his political uh, power or rather has fizzled out to a large extent, and he thinks now that if he joins hands, or rather Rajnikant also feels the same, if they join hands, their star power could be converted into political power, and they could try and do as much as possible in terms of creating a new vibrant Tamil Nadu. uh, Politically, does it make sense? Well, they're just fledgling parties. One of them not even named and yet to even make its own mark. That is Rajnikant's party. Kamal Hassan, in the last 2 years, we saw his performance in the Lok Sabha also, because in the Lok Sabha, though he fielded candidates there, they did not perform well, and he also had a lot of trouble because three of his candidates who he had fielded as Lok Sabha candidates, they shifted to the BJP. The BJP is trying very hard to make inroads in Tamil Nadu right now. They are hoping that they could do as much as possible because, as of now, two states in southern India, apart from Tamil Nadu, apart from Karnataka, is Tamil Nadu and Kerala, where the BJP is trying its best to create inroads into. Karnataka, as you know, is right now a BJP government, but they're hoping that they will be able to convert with the help of the Modi wave as well as the help of the ground swell that they hope to bring about, that people will possibly vote for the BJP. Now, Vijay Kumar was just saying about how Rajnikant and Kamal Hassan, if they join together, can create a huge change, especially amongst the vote banks. Well, that needs to be seen. One is that people need convincing whether both of them can be political leaders, both of them can be leaders for a state, and whether they can change the course of Tamil Nadu and make it a state to reckon with, and a state like how Jayalalitha used to say, the most developed state in the country. People need to be convinced about that, and for that it is not easy for fledgling parties like we've seen Makkal Needhi Mayam, that is Kamal Hassan's party, or Rajinikanth's party for that matter, which he's expected to launch, whether they will make a difference. BJP entering Tamil Nadu sounds like a real possibility, but unfortunately that may be a far reality, says Vishnu Vijay Kumar. Well, there are attempts that are being made, and that is why it is important to understand that here it is not just, the rival is not just ADMK or DMK. They also need to fight against a national party which is governing the country as well under the prime ministership of Narendra Modi, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party. Number two, whether star power converts into political power, that needs to be seen, and that has not worked out very well for Kamal Haasan till now. Number three, the campaigning that took place, especially if you see the way when Kamal Haasan went around campaigning in the entire state of Tamil Nadu, people would come in large numbers, in hordes to watch Kamal Haasan, to watch him speak. But end of the day, when they go back home, when they cast their votes, it was a different story, it was a different saga. We saw a very similar kind of a situation when it came to the Janasena, that is Pawan Kalyan's Janasena in Andhra Pradesh. A huge groundswell, a huge support for him, but at the end of the day, it did not translate into votes. So clearly, they need to break into the ADMK bank, they need to break into the DMK bank, vote banks. Now, whether that's possible and how that is possible, is development the only card? Will they be able to convince them that they will not be painted with the same brush as the way they are being painted with the BJP or the ADMK or DMK? That is the crucial part which needs to be part of their political campaign, and to ensure and convince people that they could be the alternate option for Tamil Nadu. Star power converting into political power, well, Tamil Nadu is the best example for it. We have M.G. Ramachandran, who was a super star in southern cinema, becomes a chief minister, rules and is the dear, and was a darling of the masses. Then you have J. Jayalalitha, also, again, a darling of the masses. K. Karunanidhi, again, comes to the film industry, a darling of the masses. So clearly, there is a great connect between star power and political power in Tamil Nadu, but whether these two individually, as of now, it doesn't seem to be working. So when they come together and join hands together, whether they will be able to make their mark, that is something that needs to be seen, and that is what they are trying to do. Now, it's an interesting let me just take a comment here saying we can't always compare star power MG and Jayalalitha had. We are all different generation. People think quite large. You're right, and that is what I was actually coming to. Whether Kamal Haasan that they've seen in cinemas, the Rajinikanth that you've seen in cinemas, are they people who can be your lawmakers? That needs to be seen. Why there is a comparison between Jayalalitha, MGR, Karunanidhi and these political leaders is because of the background that they come from. It is also because they have managed to be shrewd politicians and been able to convert their mass popularity into mass votes. This is where they need to work on whether that conversion can take place. Like I was saying, that interestingly, the DMK also for that matter, we've seen how Stalin has grown powerfully within the party. After the passing away of Karunanidhi, he has now become the face of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, and is building his image in such a way that he is, and undoubtedly now, the chief ministerial candidate or the chief ministerial face of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam or the DMK. Aragiri, that is his brother, who has been expelled from the party, interestingly did make a comment saying that he does support Rajinikanth in his political endeavors. Now, that has an interesting connotation there. That is also because Madurai, which is known as the bastion of Aragiri, that is also one area which the vote bank that both Rajinikanth and Kamal Haasan would like to break into. If you remember, Kamal Haasan actually launched his party from Madurai itself and his political campaign to there. So that is a big area of where it could convert into a way that it could translate into support from the ground to these two leaders. So that is what is to be understood, whether Aragiri's support to Rajinikanth, whether that will also be extended to Kamal Haasan or not, and whether that hope works for them. So the largest or the larger reason or the big picture as to why we are seeing both Rajnikant as well as Kamala Hassan now joining together is because as they feel that individually they will not be able to make as much as an impact. The Chief Minister seems to think that joining of hands of both stars is bad news for his party, says Subramani. Well, the ADMK. Now, the ADMK has been, you've seen the kind of fissures that have been taking place, the infighting that has been taking place, but they have been managed to iron out differences to the extent that they have been managed to govern the state till now. Have they been as impactful as the previous governments? Well, that's for the people to say when they go to elections next year, when the state also sees elections. But at the same time, there has been a lot of support for the policies and the governance of Edapadi Swamy. One cannot deny the fact that there are people who, when you go on the ground and speak to them, do feel that they have be able to make an impact. And this is not what I speak of an political party or the ADMK for that matter. I am talking about individually as leaders, as a chief minister of the state, as a deputy chief minister of the state, whether they have been able to make an impact, they have been able to do so. Now, there has to be also another area of concern for both Rajnikant and Kamala Hassan, and that is that whether they will be able to project themselves as chief ministers. Could there be a kind of a tough tussle for that matter? Because if both of them come in, both of them would have political aspirations. How will that be settled out also? So joining hands, would that mean joining parties? Or would that mean just supporting each other and helping each other during campaign? What would that mean for the people? Because end of the day, what people want or who people want are leaders. People who can make decisions and strong decisions that will help them in the development of their state, in the development of the individuals, provide them with employment, provide them with basic amenities. That is what people look forward to. So converting that and possibly also delivering the wishes of the people, whether that is possible or not, that is another big question. So uh, I've been speaking to some people in Tamil Nadu, especially the DMK side, they call this an act of desperation from both sides, an act of desperation for political power because they are drunk with power right now, and they being Rajnikant and Kamala Hassan. But at the same time, what we could also look at is that, number one, Tamil Nadu is looking for change. Clearly, there's a new generation there. There's a new vote bank there. There's a new set of people who actually want to see a change in Tamil Nadu. They want to see a new rise in Tamil Nadu. And whether the DMK is an option for it, the ADMK is an option for it, you do have the TTV Dinakaran, Amma DMK also that is possibly looking at coming into the political fray. And then you have these two superstars. So clearly at this time, what is clearly looked into in this entire political drama, in this entire political arena, is number one, whether they can make their impact. But we should not forget that in Tamil Nadu, in southern India, in India for that matter also, caste plays a huge role. So today, when we have people like Kamala Haasan who go ahead and say that I am the representative of an individual, of a person, not from any caste, not from any religion, not from any backgrounds, with different ideologies, with different backgrounds, how is it possible for them to create an impact? Because an ADMK voter who has been voting for generations together, a DMK voter who has been voting for generations together, it will be very difficult to break into that vote bank. A very similar kind of a situation that we're seeing in other places too. So whether they will be able to break into the caste politics, whether they'll be able to break into this entire politicking based on religion, on caste and creed and culture, that is something that we need to see, because Dravidian culture is so well embedded, is so deeply embedded within the system and the social fabric that people, whether they want to go with traditionalism, or they want to go with a new age set of politicians, or they want to change but they would like to also maintain a balance, that is what they will have to find out. So like I said, the toughest stand or the toughest situation or the biggest hurdle for both of them right now is that joining hands, whether it will be, they expect the votes to convert from their star power into vote bank, and number two, whether they will be able to break into the caste politics, which is so deeply entrenched in Tamil Nadu politics. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you so much for your questions and comments. I do request you to continue putting in your comments and your questions. We will try and answer them as much as we can. And do continue to tune in to the YouTube channel of The Print.